Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently Wednesday, February 20th, 2013, and this is Day 9 Daily number 557, where we learn to be a better gamer. Per usual, we're going to get some crickety-cracketing out of the way. So good. Let me... Oh, and there's a chiropractor watching being like, I've never even bent a head that way. We're going to try to push this towel chair out of the way, but I guess it stays in frame forever. Yeah. How are you? I'm in an absolutely fantastic mood today. I actually don't think I have... I'm trying to think if there's an actual reason for it. I don't know, I just feel good. Eating healthy, drinking lots of water, and of course, the coffee helps so much, and I hope you are continuing to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm very excited once all my work and stuff for the Team Liquid and Day 9 TV Heart of the Swarm launch party wraps up. I'm going to start running and lifting weights and doing all that good stuff all the time. Now, let me just begin by saying what on earth this daily is. The Good Studio recently had a King of the Hill beta series that involved a lot of notable players from the beta, and they kindly posted the replays, so I would like to do some analysis of those games that some of you may have seen, particularly Grubby versus Terran players. We're going to look at some games he wins, some games he loses, and all that good stuff. So yeah. So if you'd like the analysis, continue watching. If you'd like to watch the Shoutcast matches, I actually don't know what the Good Studio website is, but someone can post it in the chat, and I'll just sort of note it there. I'm pretty sure it's twitch.tv/thegdstudio. I'll throw it out there. So good. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. Two major announcements, okay? First of all, Blue Sky Black Death is coming to Los Angeles. Oh, they're going to be here on March 24th. That's the weekend of PAX East. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to fly home early and attend. I just tweeted the link if you want to have get tickets there and come out and party. I will certainly be there, absolutely, indubitably. I'm so excited. Of course, you'll note. Let me just go ahead and mute myself, just so you can hear some of these great beats. Let's just play something awesome. What? Let me mute. I'm muting my mic. Here we go. Alright, okay. My Firefox crashed. I had their album open, I tried to hit play, and my Firefox just crashed, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Blue Sky Black Death is really good, I swear to God. Hey, sorry headphones users, just totally died. Alright, cool, that was really great. That worked out very, very well, and I'm thrilled about that. When Firefox player is not crashing, it sounds so great. Super good. So that's amazing. And the other thing that I just wanted to briefly talk about, it was just a sort of curiosity because obviously the PlayStation 4 was announced today. I just don't know why people hate on Diablo 3 so much. Let's pretend that it wasn't called Diablo 3. That it was just called, like, Demon Blaster. Maybe a stupid name like that. Like something that would be on a Game Boy, Demon Blaster, right? Demon Blaster 64, whatever. If it just was not called Diablo 3, people would be like, oh, this is the game of the century. I know, well, maybe not that, but maybe be like, this is amazing, this is fantastic, what an awesome thing. But the fact that it was the thing after Diablo 2, people are like, oh, it's not infinite grinding for runes? This sucks. That game was great, right? The game was like 30 hours for me of pure, uninterrupted entertainment when I'm extremely busy. I actually was sacrificing valuable time doing other things because I was having so much time playing Diablo 3. And I honestly expect that in 3 or 4 years, it'll be incredible. Even more incredible than could have ever been imagined, because that's kind of what happened with Diablo 2. Like, I started and played Diablo 2 and then didn't for like 5 years, and then came back and bail run for like a year and a half. Like, that was my life. That was good. But yeah, it's just amazing to me that this game that's like pretty much excellent might not be the 500-hour game that, you know, a StarCraft would be, but is an excellent game. People are like, this is the worst thing that has ever happened. And anytime Blizzard adds any patch update where it's like, hey, we put in a whole bunch of new content, it was like, God, Blizzard, they may as well just take my happiness and light it on fire. Oh god, I hate it so much. And I saw this when Blizzard, when Chris Metzen from Blizzard stands up on stage at this thing, and he's like, well, we're really excited because we're partnering with PlayStation 4 and Sony to bring you. And then he turns, and of course everyone was like, oh my god, it's gonna be the announcement for Titan, this is what I've been waiting for. And then it was Diablo 3 on a console. That should be good, right? That should only be good. Like, nothing bad happened. Blizzard expanded the number of people who can have access to Diablo 3, and people are these fucking assholes. How dare they release their game on a PlayStation 4? What? Oh my god. Like, I get happy when Xbox Arcade allows me to re-download Banjo-Kazooie HD, a game I've already played that doesn't even need HD, and I'm like, oh yeah! And Diablo 3 releases on a PS4, and people are like, this is bullshit. I don't understand why that happens. It's a weird perception thing. Perceptions are always so unusual. If a game has, like, it's just like an 8-hour complete single-player experience, and they just leave it like that, people are like, this is incredible. 10 out of 10. And if they try to put in a multiplayer that's not so great, people are like, single player was great, but then it had this feature that didn't live up to the single player. 8 out of 10. I just don't understand. I don't understand how it works. It's really weird for me. So crazy. So, whew. Oh. So excellent. Let me just do a little bit more of this. Let me just note, all-time greatest turn-based strategy game. I think you know it. Here's Might and Magic 2. Just saying. Here's Might and Magic 2. Trump small. I'm also really excited for Watch Dogs. Let's hop into a daily. Let's do it. What do we want to do? Let's hop into the game and just look at things from Grubby's point of view. Rather than do the intro with my face here, let me just go into the game. It's on Akalon Wastes, Empire Beastie Cutie. Do I have the sound on? Of course not. Empire Beastie Cutie up in the top left. He's done a really lot of cool things in deck beta. What is this doing up here? What is... Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wow. I was so excited about the fact that Blue Sky Black Death was in town that I spent all the pre-show purchasing tickets instead of fixing my screen. Well, we have Beastie Cutie in the top left. We have Grubby down in the bottom right. Great. Now, in this matchup, there's some weird things that are happening right off the bat. There's new threats. The Hellbat drop. Widow Mines, I think, are the most considerable. Reapers can be a little bit obnoxious. But a lot of those are pretty much conserved with solid defense that we'll look at in a sort of more specific way. In essence, Stalkers must be favored early on, and Sentries must be de-emphasized early on. That's pretty much as to be expected from everything that's been said. But the other, I think, more notable thing is that the medevac speed, the medevac emergency thrusters speed thing is really scary. And it doesn't exactly give Terran more power. It's that if you're good, you can squeeze more value out of what you already have. So I think that's a really nice little change and shift in there. Occasionally Hellbats will work their way into the main composition. I'll talk about that later. But the big thing is that with the Mothership core, Protosses are now more tempted to take more bases earlier on. And likewise, the Terran player can apply more threats the more spread out the Protoss is due to the medevac speed boost. And I think that that's the significant, interesting thing to look at. So there's a lot of interesting battles where before we pretty much with Protoss had a couple of just straight things we had to follow of, you know, getting 6 gateways in exactly this time to be able to deal with drops, and we kind of really do want Colossus if we went Robotech on this map, those sorts of things that you would just sort of follow rotely. But in Heart of the Swarm we have some additional options, so we'll be looking at those options in detail. So right away, a few things to note. Grubby is forming little tiny walls with these buildings, and I think that this is pretty significant. That things like this, you'll see the probe actually has to go back around. The probe cannot cut through here. It's much easier to zone with against Reapers. We're already dealing with that threat. Down here, we can build things like Gateway here or Gateway here to zone Reapers more, and leave this area as the only entry points for the Reapers. So we already like that. That's already nifty. Getting a gas because gas is used to build things. Oh, I already love that. Now, if this were on a next-gen console, it would say Achievement Unlocked, 2 assimilators. And weirdly, you would feel happy. I feel happy whenever that happens to me. I'm like, oh, not a lot of people can do that. Build both of them. I can't wait to gamify parenthood. Achievement unlocked. Walking baby. Yes! Dat baby. Now, in terms of scooting, in terms of a little bit of the scouting and abouting, Grubby finds this formation right here. I will ignore this. We've seen it. That's fantastic. That's great. I will ignore it because this is still significant enough. The single Marine will almost always push us back. Why? Because 415 is about as early as a Stalker will ever come out. 405 if he's doing some chronoing and some very aggressive timings and whatnot. So basically when we see this, we really have to just conclude the broadest possible range of openings, which is why almost always we're seeing players do this sort of mixture. One Stalker out very, very fast, stepping out very proactively, and a Mothership Core coming out very, very fast. Little bit of vulnerability to Reaper, but remember, we saw this Marine. Actually, where's the Marine? We saw a Marine early right there, so we already sort of crossed off Reapers. That's significant enough for us not to get too overbearing with our Stalker production. So great, the usual thing, one probe at the back, this at the front. And why this here? Because there are 3 major deviations now. Upon seeing this, command center, or some sort of funky tech, or a 2 racks. So I just want to note that right now. If we saw nothing starting around, I don't know, if we saw nothing, say, at 5:30, we'd probably poke with the Stalker and conclude either expand or aggressive tech. But we can leave that there and then get, okay. See this force? We know that he's going for some sort of 1 barracks-ish type push. Because most of the 2 barracks pushes would have a lot more units. And let me just note, here's where people level themselves. This is where the biggest, I think, early game conflation can occur. We see 1 Marauder, 2 Marines. If he was going 2 racks, we'd see 1 Marauder, 5 Marines. Ta-da! Some people, I know, will say, well, what if he's hiding the 3 Marines behind? Then he's doing a shitty 2 racks. 2 rackses don't rely a lot on surprise. They rely on getting all those 6 units to the front door fast. So there's nothing clever about leaving half your army at home to surprise him. It's like, surprise! I'm way too late and I missed my window. Ah, I totally metagamed you. Indeed, I would have thought you liked winning, but in fact you don't, right? So right here, feel free to say out loud in your head. Feel free to look at this and just go, okay, he's going 1 racks, and be done with it, right? So, alright, so he's either doing some sort of push. There's a couple of threats that we have to worry about. We're worried a little bit about Widow Mine pushing and all that good jazz, so we're going to go ahead and retract ourselves. Very smart little maneuvering. We want to just get up in there as fast as possible. Often it's useful to just cross over, but I think Naniwa says it best, always have the ability to plant a proxy pylon. So we're seeing this good jazz. Yeah. This is one thing that's quite interesting about these kinds of pushes. We actually don't need to engage super early. As long as this Nexus goes down early enough, we can just photon overcharge it. We're a little bit away. This is one of these common things that are coming up. And I think that Grubby does the smart play, identifying that this Nexus was not early enough, the Mothership Core was not early enough, and just a straight, simple, easy peasy cancel. And Grubby, of course, gets the Money Scout. No expansion. So I already like thus far the way that Grubby's been sort of playing this out. Widow Mines are actually like the worst thing in the world with ramps. This is one of these moments where it's not the pigeonhole principle. What is it called? Mutually exclusive. That's the word. Mutually exclusive. He cannot both push that quickly with Widow Mine Marine and stuff, and also have a whole lot of units. He can't do both. Those are mutually exclusive. Haha. So, if you pull back on the ramp, you're guaranteed to be safe, and you're guaranteed one other thing. What would that be? What is the other guarantee? That there ain't nothing considerable back home in the main base. There's really not a lot of other development. I mean, if he is going for a Banshee, that's fine. We're already getting our Observer up quite quickly, and there's no way the Banshee can get to our base with Cloak before 7:30. So, I mean, we're in good shape. We actually can use this Widow Mine comfortably to take this out. And if I'm in Grubby's shoes, I'm like real aware that there could be a Banshee. This probe hanging back here can both spot a Banshee and check for the expansion. Very nice multi-purpose probe, and can even plant the pylon, so nifty-tastic. Here comes Das Prober. We can see Widow Mines that are burrowed, for the record, so we just go kill the Widow Mines. Yay! Yeah! Alright! So, I mean, even though Grubby's built these 4 gates, we learned this critical lesson yesterday. If we feel like we have somewhat of an edge, don't just go like, oh, doing, and build the pylon, and then throw down all these gateway thingies and try to kill them. Just expand. Exploit that in some other way. Oh, this is so nifty. Now, he still could be doing a Banshee threat. There's no real way the Banshee could be arriving that quickly. So I think that this is a smart choice. I think that this is a absolutely 100% necessary choice because we just don't know. A Banshee could be popping in with Cloak. We'd probably have to run, but this is a smart choice. I like this. How would I... Yeah, do I want to go on that? Yeah! Screw it! I do. This is my show. I like thinking about this sort of thing. Most people just derp throw down the Robo Bay, but bluntly, there's no way he can really do a follow-up push. Why? Because that attack was from one base. If someone does a one base early pressure, they can follow it up with a one base all-in-ish kind of final concluding pressure, or they can expand. They might do things like Banshee Harass, but you're never going to get like all in with a bunch of Banshees after that sort of follow-up. This is really, honestly, an extremely trouble-free zone. That's why I love that Grubby canceled this. It's so easy to be in this position and be like, oh, my poor expansion, or excuse me, oh, my poor expansion must stay alive. It doesn't have to stay alive, because after this, he's either going to expand and back off and have no Marines. Why? Because we saw Widow Mines. Or he's going to go all in. So either way, this is, I think, extremely smart. 1-1-1 all-ins demand Colossus to be able to hold it off. And in the rest of those games, we're already getting our Colossus tech up early. So Grubby's continuing to check. He's continuing to apply a little bit of pressure. Here comes out the Observer. Just going to step into a reasonable position. Observer leading. Very difficult to do properly, but that's okay. Very easy to run this into some mines. With this factory floating back, this is very often a strong signal that he's expanding. Why? Because all 1-1-1s require, or excuse me, all the all-ins at this point require the factory. So great, we see an expand. Nifty. Grubby's going to try to do his best to kill off the mines, but he's going to walk his ever-critical sentries right on into things. Whoopsie-doopsie daisies. So cool, we can anticipate with a high degree of accuracy that our opponent is on Marine Marauder, because we see Marines Marauders, and because we see the factory. And we can conclude that he's going to be defensive largely for the next bit of time. So now, low unit count. He is defensive. We know his composition. Blobbity blobbity blue. Excellent time to go for double assimilator. Yes. Again, most players throw down the double assimilator anyways at this point and just do it without thinking. But if we think about it, it's still an obviously excellent time. Time to build all them colossi. No real need to do much else. We can even do another big tech play if we want. Double Forge, Twilight Council. We could expand. Here's the hook into the base. Around 10 minutes is when these medevacs would be popping out anyways. We have plenty of them options. Plenty, plenty, plenty. And, of course, I think most significantly of all, no add-ons here. Very often, when a player does one of these early one-base pressure openings, you know, like uses the Widow Mines, Marines, and Marauders and stuff, it's real easy to float in and be like, oh my god, he's not behind at all. Every early expander would be like done, dead, and done with dem add-ons. They'd be in fantastic shape with that. But here, no, look, no add-ons. This is the result of that early pressure. And of course, in the unit counting station, we see that there's really not a significant SCV lead at all. So yeah, great. Before we step into the mid-game plan and sort of why Grubby's adding on a bunch of gateways now, we'll take a brief break. And when we come back, we're going to look at Grubby's mid-game and talk a little bit about why adding on these 3 gateways. Sounds good. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Let's listen to some Blue Sky Black Death, who I have up and loaded. I love this new album. I hope to goodness gracious that I don't blow your ears out. Be back in a sec.